Welcome back to the In the Clinic podcast with Rob. I am Rob Sumner, owner of Sumner Specialized Physical Therapy and Specialized Strength, Specialized Massage. We've got all sorts of things from the superhuman protocol all the way down to occupational therapy, personal training. We got the whole works. We're a full wellness clinic, so welcome back. Today we are starting a new series, and I want to be very clear right out of the gate that this is one of the most important conversations that you can have for anyone over the age of 40, because this real episode addresses something that quietly frustrates, discourages, and really even shames people, often without them really even saying it out loud. People come in and say things all the time in my clinic. They say things like, I feel like I'm doing the right things, but my body isn't responding. And usually behind that statement is actually something deeper. They're thinking, what's wrong with me? So let me very clearly and slowly and confidently tell you that there is nothing wrong with you. Your body is not broken. And the fact that you're stuck is not failure. It's really just feedback. And one of the biggest mistakes that we make after 40 is assuming that the rules never change. We assume that what worked at 25 will now work at 45. And when it doesn't, we start to blame ourselves. But biology doesn't work that way. After 40, your body becomes less tolerant of chaos and more sensitive to signals. And that means effort alone is no longer the lever. What is the lever? Order. Order is the lever. So today, I really want to help create a level of understanding of what stuck actually means biologically, why trying harder often backfires, and how momentum actually returns when you stop fighting your body and start supporting it. So this episode is really about doing less because you're older. It's about doing smarter because your body is wiser. So most health advice is built on a simple but flawed assumption. If results aren't happening, well, effort must be lacking. The mindset works well when recovery is fast, when stress is low, when hormones are resilient, and when sleep is forgiving. That's often true in your 20s and sometimes in your 30s. But after 40, well, effort without context becomes noise, not progress. So here's the truth. Your body doesn't measure effort. It measures stress load. It doesn't care whether the stress comes from work, exercise, undereating, poor sleep, emotional strain, inflammation, toxins. It doesn't matter. Stress is stress. So when people say, I added more workouts, I ate less, I cut out carbs, and now I feel worse. Well, that's not confusing. That's actually predictable. The body interprets that as resources are scarce, threat level is high. And when threat is high, the body does one thing very, very well. It conserves. It conserves energy, it conserves fat, it conserves hormones. And trying harder in that state is like shouting directions into a traffic jam. It's like laying on your horn. That one always confuses me, why people just honk. Must be frustration. They just honk during the traffic jam. Nobody can go anywhere, but I'm going to honk. But that's what it's like. Trying harder is the state of honking your horn in a traffic jam. So when someone says that they feel stuck, they're rarely talking about motivation. They're really talking about physiology. So let's break this down. Inflammation isn't always dramatic. It's often quiet. Low-grade inflammation doesn't scream, it whispers. It creates just enough noise that the signals don't land clearly. Insulin knocks, but the cell doesn't open the door. Thyroid hormone circulates, but tissues don't respond. Testosterone is present, but receptors are dulled. This is why people say, my labs look okay, but I feel terrible. Because inflammation is like static on a radio station. The music is still playing. You just can't hear it clearly. So inflammation is one of the number one things that we're talking about when it breaks down your physiology. The second thing is insulin resistance. Because insulin resistance is really a protective measurement. It's not pathological. So insulin resistance isn't your body giving up. It's your body saying, we're overwhelmed. We need to slow the flow. And when cells are already inflamed or energy systems are overlooked, insulin resistance acts like a gatekeeper. Fat storage increases not because the body is stubborn, but because it's trying to really buffer stress. That belly fat everyone hates, it's often acting as a storage unit for excessive fuel, inflammatory compounds, toxins. The body is just trying to buy time. That's what it's doing. The third thing that hampers your physiology is the hormones. Your hormones respond to the environment, not desire. Hormones are adaptive. They respond to sleep quality. They respond to stress patterns. They respond to recovery. They respond to nutrient density. They respond to toxin exposure. They respond to emotional safety. Not motivation, not willpower, not guilt. Your hormones don't respond to that. So if cortisol is high, well, testosterone is not going to rise. If sleep is poor, well, fat loss will stall. If stress is chronic, well, thyroid signals will start slowing. And this is not failures. This is biological prioritization. Your body is just trying to prioritize what's most important at the minute. And keeping you alive is always what's most important. So why, if you keep doing the same thing as you did in your 20s, why is this going to backfire? Because this is where good intentions derail progress. When results stall, most people respond by exercising more, eating less, cutting food groups, adding different supplements, pushing through fatigue. But stacking stress on top of stress doesn't create adaptions. It creates shutdown, which means cortisols rise, inflammation increases, recovery collapses, sleep suffers. And eventually the body stops negotiating. It holds. And this is why people say 40, when they say, I'm struggling. And they usually start in their 40s and they say things like, I used to lose weight doing this, XYZ, fill in the blank. That used to work and it doesn't anymore. Yeah, because the body used to have more margin for error. When you were in your 20s, it had more margin for error. But all of these things have stacked on top of your body now. Your systems are depressed. They're up against a wall. They can't respond to stress the way they used to. So after 40, that margin is earned, not assumed. So what we're getting into is that we're really talking about the signal. And what I mean by that is that this signal is really the important reframe of this entire episode. Stuck is not a verdict. It's a message. It tells us what system needs support first, what should not be pushed yet, and where order matters more than intensity. Because most people try to fix really everything at once. They start doing everything. I'm going to eat right. I'm going to work out. I'm going to restrict my calories. I'm going to strength train. And they try and add everything in. And that's not ambitious. That's just chaos. And instead we ask, what's the bottleneck? What's the bottleneck? Is it sleep? Is it inflammation? Is it blood sugar? Is it stress? Is it movement capacity? And once you clear the bottleneck, progress feels easy again. That's not magic. That's physiology. And this is exactly why, I've talked about this in the past, this is why we created the Wellness Ascension Roadmap. So right here, you're going to see that this is the Wellness Ascension Roadmap. There's a lot of things on here, and you probably can't read it. But essentially what this is not a program. This is not a diet. It's a sequence. It's a sequence in where we can identify easily from answering a 3-minute or less questionnaire exactly where you're at in one of these stages. And from these stages, it tells us where you're stuck in that stage. It gives us a roadmap to then help you move out of that stage into the next stage. And we've got 9 stages that allow you to progress through with 11 subcategories. Everything from sleep to VO2 capacity, to strength, to balance, to mental health, to environmental toxins, how your body detoxes itself. All of these matter in your health and wellness. So from this questionnaire, we're able to identify what stage you're in, and then you meet with me. And you meet one-on-one where we go through and find out what is your biggest constraint and what you need to do next to uncork the bottleneck. Because that's essentially it. You're getting stuck in a stage because of a bottleneck. Too many things are converging at once. And if you try and just force your way through it, you're not going to make it. You're not. You're going to push harder. You're not going to get the results. And eventually, you're going to be 70 years old. You're going to have multiple health problems. You're going to say, I've tried everything and nothing works for me. Nothing works for me. How do I know that? Because I hear it all the time. I hear it in the clinic. I heard it when I went and did home health and people couldn't get out of their homes and I had to help them just get out of the bed. They sat and watched Gunsmoke all day in the recliner because they didn't have the energy to do anything else. And they said 2 things. 1, nothing works. And 2, if I knew I was going to live this long, I would have taken better care of myself. So if that's you and you're over 40, well, this is your warning sign. If you've made it this long in this episode of this podcast, whether you're listening or you're watching on YouTube, proud of you. You've made it this far, which means that your next step is reach out to me for the Wellness Ascension Roadmap. We'll find out exactly what stage you're in. You'll be able to do it on our website, which is sumnerpt.com/WAR or Wellness Ascension Roadmap. By going to that, you can fill out our stage. It's for free. And you know exactly what stage you're in, the first 3 things that you need to start doing. So I'd encourage you, do that. Click on it. If you're watching YouTube, click on it right now. It's in the bio or it's going to be in this video. It's going to be sumnerpt.com/WAR. Click on it and find out what stage you're in right now. Because the key that we need next is momentum. We need momentum because skipping stages doesn't speed things up at all. It just slows them down. So what we need is to know what stage you're in so we can start progressing forward and start building momentum. Because momentum starts to return when your body feels safe. Not safe emotionally, but safe biologically. And that means you're getting adequate fuel, you're getting adequate sleep, you're getting predictable movement, you're getting reduced inflammation, you're getting lower threat perception. And when those are all in place, well, the body starts to release stored energy. Fat loss happens, energy rises, hormones stabilize, not because you forced it, but because the body allows it. So if you're stuck right now, you're really not failing. You're really listening whether you realize it or not. Your body is communicating. So in our next episode, we're going to talk about the hidden bottlenecks that keep people stuck, from inflammation to insulin resistance to detox overload to liver congestion. Why fat sometimes won't let go. Because this isn't about blame. It's really about clarity. And clarity is how momentum returns. So if this speaks to you, go now, click on the sumnerpt.com/WAR. Click that, do the survey. It will tell you the top 3 things that you need to do now to get moving out of the stage you're in and start progressing forward with your health and wellness. It's the biggest give that I can do right now for you out there in the world who might be over 40, might be stuck, might be looking for the next momentum boost. Click here. It's free. There's no risk. Do it today. It's the best thing I do to help you without actually coming to your home and meeting you in person. All right, guys. Thanks for listening this far. If you made it this far, you're one of my best people. Keep it going. Like, subscribe, send this to somebody else so that they can have an impact in their life and get their momentum going as well. All right. Check out episode number 2 on this as soon as you can, as soon as I release it, so that you can get moving in these key bottlenecks.